D'Artagnan, you cannot come on stream naked. You can't, okay? Like, we want to see it. I mean, we're loving it.
Okay, just stay over there and watch us.
Right over there.
And stay quiet this time.
That guy, man, can't get a word in edgeways.
Hi, this is the Uncommon Trust, starting up our continuation of our Numenera stream, Ringweb. This is Children of Ringweb, and I am your game master, your storyteller, Alquin Gersh, different elves. I'm also here with...
I'm Ash, and it's Moonclad Ash, I think, right here. This little thing here. And yeah, that's my name.
Yeah, who else we got?
B. Dave Walters, who is substantially larger than a Sam DeLev. Like, it's only when I look at us actually, I really do look like a special effect.
Oh, are you taller than that?
No, I look like a CGI artifact, not just tall. I look like I'm not real.
This is why we can't fit in frames until the photographer goes 200 feet away.
That is true.
I also look very large comparatively because your camera's zoomed out, and so I'm just this
You're like Ash man.
I can grab Sam and throw them.
It's true. Fastball special. It's true.
Yeah.
Well. I'm Sam DeLav at Tchaikovsky on Twitter, ChaikovBSky.
I would just like to say one quick announcement.
Yeah, go for it.
Uncommon Trust at WhedonCon. We did a panel. We did a new live play. There is a podcast, which by the time you see this video, the podcast should be out in the wild. So check the Uncommon Trust Twitter. If you don't see it, DM me at BDaveWalters. I will send you the link, because surely it will exist. Surely I will be able to get to market by the time you see this very thing.
Yeah, we had a good conversation at our panel, mostly about our Legacy of Kairos characters and what's going on with them, and then that's what we played for our game there as well. It was nice to meet the people and hang out and play some of our favorite characters.
That is true.
The first ones that we played together.
Yep, and it's great. So and again, silky smooth, uneventful, and not at all going to send you guys rampaging across Faerun.
I'm really, really satisfied with how that game ended, and very excited.
It's true, definitely. So check it out.
I tried.
But
it's true. You succeeded moderately.
You succeeded moderately in reining us in.
Yeah, a solid B-.
That is the worst thing you could ever say to Tails.
Oh, no.
Why would you do that?
it would be degraded, B. Dave.
That's true. Again, you'll see there's nowhere you can go.
It's degrading.
That I cannot still hurt you. So there it is. Great. But give it a listen. Yeah, we did it as a podcast. We're experimenting with the format. Let us know what you think.
Hopefully some of you have had a chance to watch the original run that we did of Ringweb, which was an original micro setting that I plunked in within the ninth world, which is the world of Numenera, the Numenera game, which is set a billion years in our future after 8 civilizations have risen and fallen. Some of them not even human civilization.
Did you say a billion years in the future?
A billion.
It's a lot of years.
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole universe is about 14 billion. Scale. Banana for scale.
Yeah. That setting was a very kind of limited setting. It was the only world that your characters knew. And there were a mix of people in that world, some of which were sort of clones of which you discovered later of some of the original people who worked in that construct, in that area, the Ringweb itself, before it became your habitat. And then there were other characters who were also descendants of some of these various clones, the reborn, who have been brought back. So let's see. We have two of the people from that, two of the reborn from that story, Naxos and Nico, are part of the story here today.
The best Naxos, I'd like the record to show. The best Naxos so far.
And the first Nico.
Yeah, because the reborn, they usually take the names of what their previous incarnations were, but you had rejected that, right?
Yes, because she's 7.
8? Wasn't she 8 or 9?
8?
Yeah.
7 or 8.
She was 10.
Mm.
I remember 10.
Really?
Prolethea was 16 and you were 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you were the baby at 10.
10. All right. So she's 10 and just hates the idea of being someone else.
Yeah. The reborn were in a special school, and they had an instructor named the Guardian, who was they were a more recent replacement to a previous guardian, which had been they had been lost trying to find this lost child from the class who had disappeared earlier.
We found the guardian.
Hana. We were after Hana.
Yeah, you found the previous guardian. But yeah, so the principle in Ringweb was that your village, the village of today, was this sort of web structure, kind of like what a funnel web spider would make. That was a moving village. They would move, throughout the interior of this thing that was a loop. It was a sort of like the inside of a donut, a big tunnel that would connect with itself. And so the village would move, and it would take about a year of time for it to make this sort of cycle. But then when you'd go out of the village and into yesterday, into where the village had been previously, outside of the light of this core, the light of tomorrow, which is the thing that the village today is always chasing. And kind of trying to stay within range of and protected by. But if you would leave and go into yesterday, it was a quite scary place, as people discovered, with all sorts of things, with time dilation, time not passing the same way, and some sort of force, some sort of thing. I think was described as like the hunger, or something that was would cause things to animate. Whether parts of the structure itself, or the bodies and ciphers left behind by other people who had perished out there.
And there's also the voice of God that did the like rings in the circle, and that was a weird, like, massive sand, almost like a crop circle, but a sand circle.
Yeah. So after going out into the wastes to try to find their lost friend, they encountered a lot of these things related to the hunger, and they did finally find Hana, and were able to communicate with her remains, and some sort of persistent consciousness that she had somehow managed to reconnect with memories of her original, the person she's a clone of. But she was also a unique reborn who hadn't been seen before. So that was it was eventful. So it was a loop sort of closing. And then when you returned to the village of today, you found that more time had passed than since you had left. And
almost
it was
a year, right? No.
Yeah.
Like a year, because a year and a day, because we thought the ceremony was like the next day, but we were arrived for the next year's ceremony.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they had assumed us dead for a year.
Joke's on them.
Yeah, and the hunger, a manifestation of the hunger that you had fought previously, which had somehow taken part of the previous guardian's form, was mimicking her. There was a big confrontation during the festival. And Nico and Prolethia's father, Baird Forrest, was mortally injured, but then saved by a cipher by Naxos.
What up?
Naxos Stemwinder. And then you proceeded into the door, this door that opens in this one specific place on the structure that the village lines up with once every year. And that's usually where the bodies of the dead are sent. And there's also during this festival, there's a sort of burst of fertility. And new reborn are kind of immaculately conceived by men, women, non-binary people. That's kind of like, it's the big day. It's the big festival. But you went beyond the door, and you were able to enter through a force field and see kind of like. It was a little bit like a 2001 thing where there was furniture and sort of things that you didn't recognize, but basically you saw some of the story of how the Ringweb came to exist, and the people behind it, and that Hana was a scientist, and that there had been some sort of experiment, and it was kind of like the arcane magic science equivalent of a large hadron collider of sorts.
This is fine.
Yeah, this is totally fine. And in the course of their experiments, they had unleashed this hunger, and it had caused them to sort of go into this sort of animalistic or state, or not almost worse than animalistic, because animalistic, a self-destructive state. And you also saw some pretty spooky things related to who some of your progenitor clones were, which is a little scary.
Inferior Nexi.
Yeah.
I mean, my clone was fine. I know some of us, right here,
had done some bad stuff.
Had done some bad stuff. Some of us didn't do bad things.
Maybe there's just no record of the bad things you did, but that's all right. Again,
Well,
we have a new Nexos that is better.
the best Nexus.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly.
Clearly.
That was a garbage nexus.
One quick question though: the ciphers are single use, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah. So you don't have your super regenerator anymore. You've used it.
I still have my cat's eye monocle because I never turned it on to see in the dark. So I have my monocle, and most importantly, I have my hat. So I'm like 16, but with the hat and the monocle. So it's I'm feeling good about all this.
Yeah. So you were able to have a sort of conversation of sorts with this AI that had the sort of control that had contained, tried to do its best to contain the the devastation wreaked by this force that had been unleashed, and allow those who had survived to continue, basically. But you all decided that you were going to save everybody. You were given the option to escape, but you were like, well, no, we want to save everybody. You were examined to make sure you didn't have any of this corruption from the hunger within you, and that you wouldn't be a risk to the rest of the world. And you get the feeling that this facility was quite isolated from the rest of the ninth world. Who knows? But it wasn't clear whether it was like a satellite or somewhere deep underground or in another dimension. But you were moved from it to the surface of this new world, which you had not seen before. You appeared in this field of, we know they're called flowers, but yeah, some sort of strange plant. And they seem to be the same flowers that Hana was very fixated on, these sort of blue flowers.
This is a gigantic ring. I can't even see the top of it.
Yeah. But yeah, you saw a figure in the distance. That was at the end of the original Ringweb series. And that's where we left it as a sort of cliffhanger. And we're actually going to skip ahead a little bit because some bad stuff happened
We killed and ate them. No witnesses.
I witnessed it. It was terrible.
You pursued this human figure that you saw in the distance, but weren't able to catch up with them. It seemed like they had some sort of
somewhere to be.
Well, it also looked like when you were able to get close enough to see that they had some sort of vehicle. It looks like it was some sort of vehicle being pulled by creatures of some sort, which was very unusual to you. And you did eventually lose sight of it. It was very disconcerting when because you come from a place that has these sort of colored light changes in this beam that denotes how time passes. But here it was very, very different. So when night fell for the first time, it was pretty terrifying for all of you. And you at first you stopped and slowed down and said, okay, do we have to wait now? Is this dangerous? Because it reminded you of being outside of the light of the core beam and being in yesterday. So you thought, oh, okay, is this how the cycle is proceeding? This is the dangerous time now, and we've somehow, moved too slowly or something. And it was in that chaos of confusion. You were exhausted. Many of you, were not at your most aware that you were attacked by. You weren't sure at first if they were humans, but then when they came into contact with you, you saw that they definitely were not. They were humanoid figures, but with some characteristics of animals in them. So you wouldn't recognize the reference. Your characters wouldn't recognize the reference, but for the benefit of us and for an audience, they're kind of like goat people. You know,
we had some visual records of the old world because we had some visual records of what their architecture was like. So had we seen pictures of goat-like creatures
of these bad people?
Bad.
Never change.
No,
never change.
This is like nothing you had ever seen. There had been descriptions in some of the scriptures from the past describing how we had to wipe out our subhuman enemies and that kind of stuff, and you assumed it was like metaphorical or it was people were more primitive then, and they were horrible and they war against each other, and you saw that these creatures were very very literal kind of monsters,
and they attack children.
Yeah, there were so many of them that while they were attacking you, you and Prolethea were fighting very bravely, but Prolethea was profoundly injured by a blow from a weapon from one of these creatures, and they had torches. Fire existed where you're from, but torches did not. So people were used to using sort of light globes or other light sources, but these creatures were using these torches as weapons as well. Prolethea was injured very badly, and in the chaos of it, you saw that Argon and the Guardian, two of the other members of your group, got separated from you. And you, let's see. Why don't you make me an intellect check, an intellect task, to see how your memory's doing.
I realize I have dice in front of me, but I have to roll a Naxos appropriate die.
I think that's pretty Naxos.
I did pick my most Naxosi die.
No, please don't get me wrong.
Oh no, I'm sure they get more extra. I didn't bring my metallics.
Right. This isn't what I wanted to happen. And yet.
Now, normally remembering what happened wouldn't be something I'd even make you roll for, but in this case, because of the chaos and you were injured yourself as well. Okay, that's fine. That is.
Yeah, we didn't get the difficulty, but
I was going to say that normally with rolls, what I'll do is I'll tell you the difficulty, and then you can talk about if you have things like assets like skills or training that can reduce it, or if you want to use a power to reduce it. In this case, the difficulty was whatchamacallit, 2. Yes. So your target number was 6, so you made it.
Yes. Full disclosure, I never understood that system, so I will ask repeatedly what that was.
Alas, if only there's someone who plays the system.
If only we had an expert playing.
If only.
Numenera and Cypher are very, very, very alike. Mm-hmm. They're not the same.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the differences.
Again, these are, and Sam is quite right, these are dramatically appropriate dice of the golden sparkles. But again, every once in a while, and it rolled better than my freaky gigantic die, but Naxos is nothing if not subtle and understated. Yeah. So that is...
the Dark Prince.
Yeah, we'll have to deploy those. Yeah.
That seems like bad for the table. Like, I'd be so afraid to roll those at home.
You can roll in that bad boy.
It is true. I almost always will only roll them like twice, because then the novelty would be like, yeah, like, okay, I got it.
That being said, the folks at home have not seen them. They're not on case, so you need to...
Oh, yes, these are my Kraken dice. They are gorgeous. They are just super freaky gigantic.
You can play both of them, basically.
Yeah.
40 millimeter.
I mean, you hold one just for as a point of reference of a Sam hand.
Oh, it's a good thing that I'm swole.
There it is. True. Yes. So yes, I remember the thing. Sorry.
You remember? Okay. So now what's coming back to you? You remember that there was a point where it looked like the Guardian and Argon were going to be overwhelmed by just a crushing wave of so many of these goat people, and you saw the Guardian activate a cipher that looked like, because you had you were given a sort of like a return signal thing, and it looks like they used it basically to spirit themselves and Argon away.
Peace, motherfuckers!
Raiders!
Yeah. And you know that the Guardian was a very brave person, so it wasn't even necessarily that they were fleeing, but potentially thought that was the only way that those two were gonna survive.
A tactical retreat.
Yeah. But but after the attack, after the chaos of the attack, you managed to hide and escape. At a certain point in the conflict, it seemed like some of these goat people were attacking each other. Like they were trying to fight over the spoils of whatever equipment was left behind by you folks. But yeah, they were just a mob, a rampaging mob. And that was so you continued to travel through the night. You had to make a rudimentary kind of litter that you could put Prolethia's unconscious body on, and the two of you have been basically dragging it.
Yeah, I would pull it. I wouldn't make Nico do it. Nico, you could carry his glaive.
Wait, he's the glaive.
But he's a glaive with a glaive.
Oh, yo dog.
Yo dog, yo.
Yes. Dog, yo.
But yeah, so you're in this very foreign place, separated from many of the members of your group, and yet another member of your group is badly injured and unconscious. But then as you traveled through the night, not that you knew that that's what it was, eventually the light did return, and it was and you saw.
Thank me.
You saw as you crested a hill, you see basically.
So did the light return as we were traveling?
Yeah.
So we could potentially think that we just walked back to today.
Yeah.
I mean, we did. Like, what else would it be?
Okay, I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah.
Because waking up in today is very different than walking to today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and you mean the village of today as a location.
I mean, the light.
They're there today.
Well, we weren't traveling fast enough, so the light got away from us.
Yeah.
But then we traveled far enough that we caught back up to it
tomorrow.
Again. Or maybe there's some odd system where it goes one way and then comes back because it went down that way, but then it came back from over here. So I don't understand.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
I mean, and you've read about.
I think you just directed us poorly. We were clearly walking backwards for a while.
Yeah.
I was running for my life from the goat things.
Yeah, and some of the stuff has been covered, in stuff you read about the old myths of the old world. But it's one thing to read about it, another thing to really kind of grok it.
That they lived in a ring so high you couldn't see the top of it? Because this is insane. We can't see the walls.
Yeah. The things like a horizon, or not being on the inside of something with its own central gravity core is very odd to you.
Wait, so you're saying we'd heard that there were people that live on the outside of something and not on the inside of something, and now we ourselves are on the outside of a thing?
Potentially, yeah, could be. But
also, the lady in the spaceship did tell us that.
What's a spaceship?
That's what they said they were on. They called it a spaceship. They said it was their ship.
I realize you're very cute, but you're going to realize that when you grow up that there's a lot of things that work a lot differently than you think, okay?
All right, so Prolethea lets out a pained groan, but you can see that he has not regained consciousness yet. And he seems like he's wounded and needs medical attention.
Does he seem like, is he actively bleeding? Is he actively wounded, or is he kind of have we been able to patch him up a bit?
You've been able to patch him up a bit, but the two of you don't know enough about internal medicine to really know. And I'm guessing that probably your prognosis, you would assume that his prognosis is even worse than it is because of your fear and your heightened emotional state.
If we're truly worried about him, I do have the ability to inspire via anecdote with a helpful story that might help us help him. But if he's not actively bleeding or actively seeing like he's in trouble, then it's not necessary.
Yeah, and as you're thinking about some of these these things, you realize, you've always known that your strength is around being around other people, and you're around fewer people than ever before, and you definitely feel like out of your depth.
We should find shelter. Letty needs to rest.
Yeah. So as you crest this hill, you see in the light of the dawn a village, but it is the whole village is laid out flat. It doesn't curl up there are no walls for it to curl up or any of that. But
Are there more of those horny things there?
Yeah, this might be where those things came from.
Yeah. The primary feature that you can see in the village, the largest structure, is something you don't recognize. It looks kind of like a statue.
Is it me?
No, it is not. Yeah. So here, I will pass this around, but the thing I'm describing is it's referred to on that as the Trilling Shard.
It's not me yet.
So yeah, what we're playing today, and also throughout these next 6 episodes is
massive.
It's not. That's a village. It's the 200 people village.
I know, but no, this is massive.
It is. It's much bigger than anything else around it. Yeah, you're not sure if it depicts an animal type that you haven't seen before or something else like that, but it's...
What, like a grass type?
Grass type Pokemon.
Are we, relative to this, which direction?
You are coming
from Vales, would this come from the south relative to this?
Yeah. You
Starting
can
from
see...
the bottom.
Literally, now we're here.
You can see that there is some sort of structure or geographical feature beyond the river, beyond the village that you have never seen before. It is a river, but you don't know what a river is.
I do know the only water in the forest is the river.
Okay.
It's a Doctor Who joke, sorry.
All right.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay, I get it.
But the sinkhole, maybe that's back the way home though. Like the huge hole in the ground, like that might be back the way to today.
Yeah.
We might be able to get down that way.
You get a chance to look at it?
Oh, sorry.
You're like, I live there, I know.
We're not here to go back.
True. We're here to create a new legend. But maybe somebody down there, assuming it's not more of those things, might be able to help us or at least help your brother.
Yeah. Long term, one of the things that you had discussed is trying to find a place that you could bring the remaining people on the Ringweb who don't know in what peril they are to somewhere where they can be safe or refuge for your people.
Insignificant amount of peril out here, my friend.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. You can't face the peril; it's too perilous.
We can't. We can't drag Letty all the way there, but we can't leave him alone. I don't know what to do.
Oh.
I'm very downtrodden.
At this point, you should make me an intellect task as you. It's going to be a difficulty of.
What type of intellect? Like, what am I intellecting?
It's basically kind of a perception check in this case.
Oh, okay, that I'm good at.
Oh, all right. So you know what? I won't make you roll. I'll just tell you what you see.
Okay. I'm not good at puzzles.
You see shapes moving around this village.
Okay.
And they are human.
Oh. Okay. So I'll be like looking out. They don't have the head things. They're like us.
Oh, I mean, they're not like us. I mean, I'm
No,
sure they're delightful,
like us.
but they're not.
No, they're like us. Like they look like they're reborn.
Oh. Well then, I start to arrange my fire red hair, because remember I have fire red hair with blue streaks with beads and letters and words all in it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
I had forgotten that. How could I forget such a thing?
It's been a while.
Beads
it's been a
and
while.
words.
You got like a redheaded Rick James thing happening.
Well, my description is he's a charming artist that speaks with a silver tongue. He's got long fire red hair with blue streaks and beads with letters and words written into his hair. He's got scabbing scarves and robes, choosing for beauty rather than function. and a pointy hat with a feather of a long extinct bird that every Naxos inherits, which is mine now, a mischievous sparkle in his eyes, and always a joke or a story on the tip of his silver tongue. That is my boy. Okay, so.
How about Nico, real quick, just for a reminder?
Yeah, what does Nico look like?
Oh, Nico is like 10, and she's got like dark, sort of like really messy, longish hair that's got a lot of like, almost like what is it? What is it called? Like fairy lock sort of stuff.
Okay.
But it's definitely a thing where she's trying to do a specific type of hair thing and it's not really working.
Yeah.
And that was like
you're finding your style.
Yeah, like one of her dads would try to help her with her hair and she was like, I'm gonna do it on my own. And it just was never a thing. And she has, because there's one lock of hair that's got like these actual beads in it that are they are functional, not fashionable. They're actually
they could be both.
But they're a cipher.
Yeah.
But yeah, and she wears a lot of like black and she's got a hand-me-down from her brother and then a jacket that looks a lot like her dad's jacket, but it's like a little Nico size.
A little Nico size jacket.
It's like how Rocket had the jacket on the Guardians. I arrange my monocle and my hat and I say, well, obviously, I'll do the talking when we get down there. But I found you are very smart and very perceptive. So we need to get help for your brother. But what else should we ask these people for?
Well, I mean, we don't know anything about them. Do you think... Should we pretend we're just from this place? Or should we tell them?
I don't even know I could sell that.
Right, but I mean, like, where we could be, like, from a faraway place, like, but on a faraway place still in the big blue, as opposed to the fact that we fell here from the sky.
True. We don't mention today or yesterday or tomorrow, but we'll look around. We'll play it by ear. But if you see something, if you want something, if you think of something, let me know. I'll find out who's in charge.
We need to find someone to help Lethy.
Yes, we definitely need that. Okay. I sort of like have cinched the rope up over my, even though I'm 99% sure she's actually stronger than me, I still don't want
That's very possible.
I don't want a little girl to have to do this.
She's had a good deal more physical conditioning than you have.
Almost certain that she's stronger than me, but still. I'm trying to be chivalrous here. and head on in.
All right, so there's I guess you would call it a strand, but it's a very simple road that's the drit that is made up of is not even packed. But you have noticed that there are footprints. There are human footprints in it. So this is definitely a path of sorts. And there are also marks from what look like non-human feet in it as well.
They look like they're from the bad.
They have. You can see some of them are. They look like they're made up of little like pads, and then some of them are kind of three-pronged, like sort of three-toed sort of shapes.
We should find the Guardian.
But we don't hear like screaming in death. Well, the Guardian knew we were heading this way, so I'm sure they'll catch up.
Where did the Guardian go?
I mean, they wouldn't have activated the beacon if they didn't think the situation were dire. But we can't go back. Those things are between us and today.
It's at that moment that you hear a sound that sounds like.
I activate.
Where's it coming from?
It seems like it's coming from the village down below.
I activate Demeanor of Command. So, Demeanor of Command, I emote confidence, knowledge, and charisma to all who see me for the next hour. My demeanor is such that those who see me automatically understand that I'm someone important, accomplished, and with authority.
I am very important.
I'm like, ho, gentle people. how? Yeah. Keep walking down the road and just like keep an eye out.
Yeah.
Oh, I just remembered we have really cool armor.
Yeah, I have the skin suit,
which is actually
filter suit.
Quite damaged at this point.
What? Oh, from our scuffle?
From your scuffle, yeah.
Yep. What?
And also because your storyteller may have given you far too powerful armor in the previous.
Yeah, appropriately powerful. Yeah, keep making our way down the road, but I'm like, do you see anything else, Nico?
Do I see where the sound is coming from?
Go ahead and make me another intellect check. This is. Yeah, I'm trying to think if you have any context that would improve this, I'm gonna say it's a 3. It's a difficulty 3 task.
Okay.
But if you have anything that might reduce that,
Every time.
particularly related to sensing sound or the origin of sound.
I am trained in tasks requiring incredible focus.
Okay, I don't think that's this.
No, there's nothing with sound specifically.
That's more like, trying to pull a shard of glass out of someone's wound or something without hurting them or do something difficult.
Just very focused, and I can climb really well.
I would like to use an anecdote on Nico.
Okay.
So Nico will actually be. Well, I mean, is there a relevant task? Because I can bestow upon her being trained in a non-combat task, but is there a relevant task to this? Like, I don't know, perceive this audio perception, like something a skill that would be more directly relevant?
How about something you hear? And will probably have a mixed effect for you, Nico. The constable, one of your previous incarnations,
Right.
was known for having very, very sharp ears, and she and you actually know a story about her that people asked her, how do you hear so well? And she's like, well, it's actually more about quieting down all the things that you don't want to hear to find.
Okay.
So yeah.
So like focusing on what I do want to hear.
Yeah.
Besides me,
So
because
easy.
I know you want to hear me, but I'm gonna not.
All you have to do is focus.
And you're 10.
Totally boned. I got a 12.
That's good. That's excellent. So it seems as if that sound is coming from that large structure, that strange statue.
The strange statue is the thing making the sound, I think. By statue, I mean strange large thing of which I have no word.
I mean, there's statues where you're from. Yeah.
Now
Well,
it's
just-
hard, you guys.
So in terms of like a point, because you're right, on the map, the Trilling Shard is in fact gigantic. So
Yeah.
relative to how high tomorrow went, because we could always see the roof, right?
Yeah.
How many of these Trilling Shards would have fit in the Ringweb? Like, I mean, it's like 1 high, 2 high, 3 high. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get an idea of just how big this thing is relative to the dimensions we're familiar with. The answer is all of them.
I mean, it's probably it's. I mean, I'm not gonna try to translate it into the too many other terms, but it's a, I want to say 200 feet tall. This thing.
How high was the Ringweb?
I'm sorry.
Right, got it.
About 2,000 people lived in that village. So take a village of 2,000 people and wrap it into a cylinder shape.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask the question in a different way. Is it so large that it's like on an incomprehensible scale, or have we seen things that big before in our lives?
No, I mean, you've seen big things like the terminal tower, the place where the core beam ends, where it was focused by that hole in the shield of tomorrow. This core beam would end, and there was a sort of terminal tower that was suspended basically in the center of the tunnel. It's not bigger than that.
Maybe it's their terminal tower.
What if instead of light, it's a sound thing here?
I would like it if this thing were sound powered, frankly, because I know a thing or two about sound, and yeah, so this would be, we might fit in actually better here. This is good for us. You
You can see at this point too that the statue is in what looks like a sort of town square, a sort of village square.
I actually, I started looking for people as long as they're not like overtly aggressive.
Okay.
Like I actually want to find a group of people as long as they're not like swords and spears and rah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There are people coming and going. There are people coming and going in this town square.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you see a few people.
Can I spend an XP to find the guardian? Because I have old friend as a player intrusion.
that if the guardian was here, that would work.
Okay. If only they weren't in space.
I don't even know what space is.
Space.
Wait, it says a comrade in arms from your past shows up unexpectedly.
Smoke bomb, boom, guardian. Right.
1 XP, Sam.
Literally, Sam. Not even the guardian. Literally you. Yes.
So have you continued to approach the village?
Are we on like a road or a pathway?
It's barely a road, but it's a road. Yeah.
Listen, if this goes wrong, you run and hide.
If this goes wrong.
I mean, it's gonna be fine.
We've already. If this goes wrong.
If it goes worse, run. You're much faster than me.
How can this
run and
go
hide.
worse? We're missing 2 people. Our friend is dead. Our village is a lie. My brother is dying. And there are people with things coming out of their heads attacked us.
Oh, but maybe they're gonna come back and like try and eat us or something. I don't know. I'm just saying, if it goes wrong, run. Hide. Save yourself. Do not wait for me. Okay. No, it's gonna be fine. Like, that's not gonna come up. Like, don't, you know what? Forget it. Forget I mentioned it. Don't, it's fine. It's fine. We're good. It's good. and I'm like, hello, and I start raising my voice.
All right.
Help us, please.
Okay, so there are a few people in the square. One of them notices you. Can you describe yourself to these people? You're probably about 300, 400 feet away from them at this point.
So then I will start running over to them. You see a kid, 12-ish. They have cotton candy, pink hair, and fun buns.
Nice.
They're
Right, okay.
wearing kind of a get-up that would not be amiss on Tatooine. With a few extra just deserty kind of vibes. A tool belt and a piece of clockwork in one of their hands. But they're rushing up like someone just arrived from the airport, and they get there and... Hello! I missed you! I was supposed to greet you! Greeting is my job! Hi, I'm Fallon. Welcome!
You're awesome!
Hi, what's your name?
I'm Nico.
Enthusiasm.
Did you say Fallon?
Yeah! Fallon Claytotechnis. Don't even try, it's a tough one. Hi. Hi!
How do you know our words?
I bow with my hat.
I mean...
I try to tap the hat before it goes back up onto your head, so it's like
Just
down,
touch it.
tap.
Okay, I'm like, it's good reflexes.
So you're the greeter for this place?
Yeah, I am the regional greeter, self-appointed, of this town.
Regional greeter.
Yeah.
We are from a different region.
Welcome. We have many people from all over come to this town. So welcome. We are glad to have you join us.
You notice that they have an injured person with them on a litter.
Do you have healers in your town?
This is a brave knight, a very valiant fighter from where we come from, was injured defending us both, and we need to get him treated.
From the people.
Yeah, travel can be really... Oh, gosh, yeah.
And they were...
As far as healers, you know that
There's a healing house.
well, there's a
JK, that's
there's a young man named Staven who somehow just knows how to heal the wounds of others.
Steven.
Okay, you guys stay here. I'll be right back. And they run off, and they're going to run back, dragging someone by the arm.
I like them. They get results.
All right. So are you?
No, like it's Steven. Hi, this is Steven. Push.
All right. So as Fallon comes back with Staven, he's quite young. He looks like he might even be about Prolethia's age, maybe only a little older.
I do still have my demeanor of command up.
Yeah. You've also attracted another person while they were off fetching Staven.
I have that effect on people.
And this is, I'm trying to remember his name.
You do.
I didn't make it
For at
this
least
way.
like another hour or something.
A very old silver-haired gentleman, stooped, comes over, and you can see he's got a big, broad smile. He only has a few teeth left. He must be
It's not good at healing mouths.
very, very old. This is not Staven. This is somebody else.
Oh, okay.
This is, he comes over and he goes, "Oh, hello, travelers. I see Fallon has done their job."
I greeted them.
They did an excellent job greeting. They did.
I'm really greeted.
Oh, what brings you to Elomir?
We're looking for a healer.
Yes. Again, this
For my
brave
brother.
knight, this brave knight, legendary warrior where we come from, was wounded in the defense of our party. We would like to see if we can have someone to take care of him and tend to his wounds.
All right, so Staven says, "Isn't this Dora's job, Gurner? I'm busy. I've got a lot going on." And you can see Gurner looks at Staven as kind of like, "Well, yeah, Dora is a caretaker for our community, but clearly, when you see people need help, you should drop what you're doing and help them. This is the immediate need, Staven."
That is just good life advice, sir.
Yeah, Staven doesn't seem to be really that motivated by Gurner.
I start kicking at the heel of Staven's shoe.
Wait, what are you doing?
Come on, help. Go help.
It doesn't look like without some sort of convincing or further.
I have a free level of effort that applies to my persuasion.
Okay.
Again, I apologize for my rustiness, and quite frankly, I never really understood it in the first place. But I would like to try and siege this guy.
Okay, so
and I'll use the sparkly tool.
do we reduce it by 1 probably for your commanding demeanor, right? Let's say that, and then you're going to spend a level of effort to reduce it down another 1 further. So that brings your difficulty down to a 2.
And you're also trained in persuasion. That's one of your skills.
I am. It is a thing.
So that'll bring it down to 1. So you would have to roll a 3 or higher.
Side note: also, I'm skilled at seeing through deception. So when people are lying to me,
Oh, you're also trained in positive or pleasant social interaction, which will stack with the persuasion.
Yeah.
You're good.
No,
So you don't need to roll then.
I was about to say I'm good at the not fighting words.
Yeah.
BJ, good at words?
Yeah, I'm good at words.
He's not even going to need to make you roll. Believe me, those are the sweetest words in the cipher system. It's the best.
It's true.
Yep.
I'm like,
You don't need to roll.
It's my motto.
I'm like,
I love it too.
Staven. Staven?
Who are you?
It's Naxos, the Naxos. I understand that you are very busy and important, but again, my friend is grievously wounded, and if you have it within your power to assist us, we would look upon it as a personal favor for weary travelers.
All right, well, bring him back, bring him to the house, and I mean, it's going to take some time, and I'll need privacy.
He's not like a tool to fix. He's a person that's hurt.
Well, yeah, if you were a tool, I wouldn't need Staven at all.
I believe you.
You can see Gurner thinks this is hilarious, and he's just loving it.
Is there anyone that could help us transport him? We've been bumping his poor head along the road as we've been like pulling him. Is there anyone who could?
Well, I mean, you got him here. Or how about
a little
Fallon?
A little further. Just it's fine. A little further.
Steven, you're like the worst.
No, Staven is going to help us, aren't you, Staven? You're going to assist us in helping our friend.
Yeah, and I don't even charge people when I help them.
That is very noble. So again,
You are gonna trip over that bar.
Fallon is also, you said, looks about 10?
12.
12?
Yeah.
Same thing. I wouldn't try and get children to do this, even though I'm sure Fallon is stronger than I am. I'm just going to like, lean into it still.
You don't get that impression. They don't look.
They look fairly slight.
They look wiry.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Get that reptile strength.
I help Naxos.
So what's your name?
Oh, hi, I'm Nico.
The demeanor's an L, by the way.
Hi,
Take a look at this back in for a second.
I'm a famous sports person.
She is. She is very famous, belying her years, Nico's grand accomplishments.
That's amazing. Wait, why is someone famous coming to Elamir?
For the Seekers Bola Championship.
One of the best players in all of today.
What's a Seeker's Bola?
It's the best game. You don't know Seekers Bola?
No, tell me all about it.
Okay, so
Can you save this chit chat for when I'm not here? It's grating. I just,
Sound is free.
What is life without conversation, Stephen? What would you rather discuss, sir? I mean,
nothing. I prefer silence.
Who wants silence? You get that when you're sleeping.
So yeah, he's trying to hustle just to get back to his house as quickly as possible.
Is Gerner accompanying us?
No. Gerner has actually stayed in the square, and he says, I think I'm going to stay here. I've got a feeling that the shard is going to trill again, and you know how much I love it.
Is that noise was this device?
Yes, the trilling shard, centerpiece of Elamir.
Isn't it trilling?
I'm
See, they're new, so they haven't heard it yet.
no, we heard it.
I got to say it first.
I'm incredibly thrilled by all of this, but it makes noise. Like, do you touch it? Is that what you?
Come back and see me once your friend is comfortable.
Okay. I just heard a quest get logged in real time.
It's true. I'm like, is he all in black? Are we in a tavern? What just happened?
And then the conversation exits.
Right.
Yeah.
He goes back to his NPC.
I'm like, I look for people with exclamation points floating over their heads. Right. All right.
Pointedly.
So you make it to what other locals refer to as the Healing House, but it is Staven's house.
Also a brothel.
And it's got a roof that's made of like some sort of plant material. It's really odd.
As a stem winder, I know a thing or two about horticulture.
Yeah.
Do these plants look like anything that we're familiar with? Like, I mean, do they bear any resemblance whatsoever?
No. I mean, it's in game terms, out of character. It's a thatch roof,
Yeah.
basically.
No,
but
Exos.
It's thatch. It's made out of thatch.
yeah.
Which is made out of thatch.
The primary component of thatch is thatch.
Little known fact.
Okay, just
Is
okay.
this structure safe?
Sure. Why wouldn't it be?
It's
I take
fine.
it.
It's fine. I've been told I need to fix it before the wet season, but I've got time. Just leave him in the foyer and come back.
You know you could hire subcontractors.
That all costs money, and
I'll leave you my card. It's a piece of bark with my name carved into it.
yeah.
I ran out of room at the end of Clytotechnus, so Technus is real.
Do you need help fixing your roof sticks?
Do you repair sticks?
I could, yeah. It's called thatch too. I'm not trying to.
Do you need help thatching your roof sticks?
Yeah.
If you help my brother, I will help you with your roof sticks.
I also will assist with sticking your thatches.
They're subcontractors under me.
I'm a very dominant contractor. Thank you very much.
Okay, well, come back tonight, and I'll have an idea what your friend's outlook is like, and we can talk about
Outlook?
prognosis.
But he's gonna be fine, right?
I mean, clearly.
I can't say that. I mean,
Because you know he's not my friend, he's my brother.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't mention that. He is a legendary warrior. He did sacrifice himself in our protection, but he is in fact a blood relative.
Are you the only healer in this town?
No.
There's Darla.
No, there's Dora.
Dora.
But Dora's techniques are a little antiquated, honestly.
Is she busy exploring right now?
Maybe.
Just
Are we all?
if you want what's best for your brother, just leave me to tend to him.
I would like to see if that.
You also notice that he didn't when he opened up the door to his house. It's literally like a sort of vestibule, like a small area, and then there was another door of synth on the inside, which looks like the construction looks much more contemporary than other stuff in the village. It's almost as if there's another structure that he built his house around. So you haven't come into the actual main area. He's kind of kept you in this little foyer.
When he said the best thing to do is leave him here with him, I would like to try and detect deception to see if he's lying. We don't know these people.
Yeah.
So.
It seems like he's being truthful.
I'm like, Nico. Well, I mean, we should let the expert work. I think he'll be okay. And I actually pick up his glaive, Proletheus glaive, and just sort of like stamp it on the ground. You know, not too threatening, but a little like.
I immediately take the glaive from him.
That's fine.
That is not his glaive to hold, and his name is Prolethea.
That's what I said.
You said Prolethea. Yeah.
Either way, I'm sure he's going to be fine, won't he, Steven? At least safe here with you.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not an official Aeon priest, but I'm sure that the Order of Truth will recognize my efforts at some point.
Yeah.
All right, out.
Come on, I want to get to know you.
Wait, when are we
Official
supposed to come
greeting
back?
stuff.
At night.
Yeah.
Tonight.
When? Like tomorrow?
I'll come bring you guys back.
What are y'all's colors? Like, how do you?
I mean, I like pink.
No, that's an excellent pink.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. My hair. See, have you seen my hair?
I like the beads in it.
Dear audience, you're referring to the fact that time is
colored.
demarcated.
Time is gay.
Time is a rainbow. He seems really confused.
This place doesn't make any sense. Okay, could you take us, Fallon, to the colors so that we can see where we are right now? Are we at lavender? Are we at blue? Because so far we just see this like yellow ball of flame.
And it's been yellow a long time.
Like how long is this day? If it just stays yellow the entire time and then suddenly we're into yesterday.
I mean, it gets kind of reddish orange at sunrise and sunset, I guess. If you want it to be different color. Are you like artists or something?
I mean, of course.
In addition to
Naxo
we're
STEM
so
wonder.
multi-talented.
When is sunset?
What's a sunset?
How many hours ish?
Right now, it's probably getting close to maybe it's late morning, and then sunset at this time of year. I'll say it is probably pretty late, probably about like 7 or 8 p.m.
Yeah, no, we got a good like 8-9 hours until sunset. I mean, the first orange bit's in sunrise, so that was kind of closer. But hey, it'll come tomorrow.
No, hear me out.
Is tonight close to sunset? Is it before or after?
I mean, after.
Wait, we walked all through yesterday for yellow to arrive, and you're telling me that this tonight is in a few hours, and then yesterday's coming back again? I just want to know what color it is right now, besides yellow.
Okay, so I know you guys are from a different.
We'll come back at orange. We'll come back at orange.
We'll go back at orange.
We'll come back at orange. Yeah, okay. We'll come back at orange.
Okay.
At this point,
Who taught you guys
the door has been closed. To
language?
that. You're on the front steps of the healing house.
Maybe we're at whatever region language teacher taught you badly.
No, I understand what you're saying perfectly.
It is. They seem to have different accents than you're used to hearing for the other people in Elamir. I mean,
yeah, they're from a different region, and they
way down
clearly
south.
are not first speakers of what we speak.
Elamirs, you know?
I mean, I don't think this town has a whole language.
We definitely speak undercommon.
the common,
common.
the equivalent of the common tongue is referred to as the truth in the ninth world in
We
Numenera.
speak the truth.
So.
I only speak the truth. I only speak the truth.
Yeah. Well, so we've got some time to kill till orange. So,
Don't say kill.
actually, to pass, make use of. Fallon.
Yeah.
Can I just one quick second with my young friend here?
Okay, sure.
Don't leave. We need your help.
Sure, no.
You were the greeter.
I
We
pull
need
out
you.
my tools, I pull out the little piece of clockwork I was working on, and I curl up and flip down some goggles. And get started.
Okay.
Tinker.
So I think that guy's gonna help Palathea. I think he's gonna be fine. But we either need to find the Guardian or figure out how we can get the others here because I don't know. And how are we gonna get the others past those goat people? Things.
I don't know what we're doing anymore in Axel's. We're supposed to find a place for all of our people. I don't even know how to get back to our people.
I mean, but like this place looks. I mean, like nobody's done anything hostile yet today. Or I mean, of course today. I mean, but nobody's done anything.
You're picking up this new world pretty well.
Yeah. I mean, like we've made it through this entire yellow with no violence. That's pretty good.
No violence, just annoyance. I do not like that Staven guy.
No, but if he does his job fine. I'm annoyed by people constantly today. I mean, today. You know, where we live.
No, my face was because I'm the only person who's been hanging out with you for most of Yellow, and so if you've been...
No, I'm annoyed by the people of today, where we live, remember? Like, you don't let this, like, surface dweller foolishness get in your mind, child. We have to stay focused. Yeah, we have the rest of this Yellow. Okay,
Maybe if we figure out their trill, maybe we can learn about this place, and maybe it's like, maybe their trill is an entrance to a space jump like ours was.
Their anchor tower. Right. Okay. I like what this is headed. Okay, good. Okay, I think Fallon likes you though, so maybe you can like try and figure out from them like.
They're really nice. I'm just really sad right now. I'm going through a lot.
I hug Nico. I'm like, come here. We're good. He's good.
I don't cry.
No, you don't cry. No, you're good. It's dusty out here. It's weird. It's doing things to my nose too. It happens. It's like I don't like it either. But we're good.
I don't cry.
No. Hey, you want to see if we can find some food?
I'm very hungry.
You are very hungry. Yes.
No, they've got to eat something.
Okay.
Excuse, why don't you ask?
Fallon, do you want to eat food? We don't have any.
No, we ate it all. From the monsters took a lot of it, and then we ate some of it, and then we're...
Come to my house! Yank!
Oh, okay.
Do you have sticks on the top like this contraption?
I do in fact have things.
I was gonna say you probably you're an apprentice of sorts to Dora Redmeyer.
Yeah.
Who is one of the Gurner is did I get that name right? I always
Gurner's what you said.
Yeah.
Gurner, okay. Gurner is one of the most respected folks in the village, but there isn't really necessarily an official leader.
There's about to be.
But a lot of people would prefer
Dress you up.
if there were to be votes for leader, there would definitely be some who will appreciate Gurner's experience and good nature. Dora, she is known for her
scouting and exploring.
Dora gets results.
She is a crafter. She is a wood and synth worker, and she has a workshop, which you are apprenticing at. She also is when outsiders come to the village, she often puts them up. So
What's
other landmarks you might know about in town when places you get food. There is an ale house that people like to frequent to socialize. And then
socialization sounds nice.
There's a bookseller. There's a community garden.
I have books about us.
There's of course the Glittermist Falls and the Glittermist Arch, which are at the edge of the sinkhole where the angry red river, which is not the color red, but supposedly at one point it was red and angry, and so I got that name. But yeah.
I also tell you a story about a warrior named Angry Red. And so just going through all of these secondary things, I very like tour bus energy.
Yeah.
As I'm telling you about all of these places. And there's the bookseller. They got here not even that long ago. We did not have book sales in this town for a while. I mean, it's kind of like the mining town kind of thing, with the ruins and everything. But now we have expansion and culture. I don't know. Maybe we'll get a stage. Maybe we have a Seekers
Ball,
stadium. Is it a stadium or is it a field? Is it a ring? Is it a ring?
It's a pitch.
It's a pitch. How do pitches work?
You got 99 problems.
When you talk about things like stadiums and those sort of bigger structures,
Yes.
they're things that you have heard about in other nearby larger communities, like Shalamus, I think is one of them.
Yeah.
I would just like to say one
My
thing.
family moved here from a bigger place. We moved to take advantage of all the exploration and all that good stuff.
Go ahead.
While they're recounting these stories, when they're talking about things like the Warrior Big Red and all that stuff, in my head, you said Angry Red River. Or
Angry
Big
Red.
Yeah, Angry Red.
Big, and
Big
red.
I'm actually trying to cross-reference that with us. The not reincarnated. I forgot our own word.
Reborn.
You know what I mean? I'm was there an Angry Red reborn that I even heard about? You know what I mean? I'm trying to cross-reference it to see if we have any shared history with these people while I'm listening.
Not that you were not recognizing any of these things. Yeah.
So you live far away before?
Yeah. This is this town sprung up so that everyone could explore things, and then people come so that the people who are exploring have food, and then they have healers, and then they have armorers for enemies and stuff, and now we have books, so we're pretty much arrived.
Do you go back every cycle for the festival, or do you just stay here?
Yeah, we stay here because, we pretty much just moved here, and, here's where everything cool is now, so, this place would fall apart without me.
How many days are in the cycle? When you've made the full circuit and come back around again, how long does it take?
365. Do you know how, 100 numbers work?
That's about how long ours was. So,
in truth?
Well, where do you keep the dead bodies until you come back around and have to,
I assume under the trail, right?
That makes sense.
Or near the trail.
Yeah, to keep them safe, keep them sacred. That makes sense. Okay.
You guys
all right.
goth.
Billion
years later.
So some other background that you would know that if you want to you could share with them. The country Elamir is a village. Some of the bigger places nearby are Shalamus, the City of Echoes, and Bodrov, which is a walled. It's basically it's almost like a mushroom kind of pillar with roads that spiral up it. And then the people live on this sort of plateau on the top of it. It's almost like an inverted mountain.
I call it Bodrov once. Thereafter, you will know it as Shroomtown.
Shroomtown.
Yeah, mushrooms. That we know.
You're part of a kingdom that's called Navarine.
Navarine.
And it is.
King.
You know that it's one of the largest and most prosperous kingdoms in an area called the Steadfast. And the Steadfast is composed of 9 kingdoms. And Navarine is one of them, and it's ruled by a queen, Queen Armalu.
My pen's dying. It has served me well for a great
And then also, at some point, you're able to see in the distance, as you're wandering the town and chatting,
Thank you.
there is off in the distance. There is this thing which your people call the golden sliver, but basically it's an amber obelisk, enormous amber obelisk that floats in the sky, It's actually on the cover of many of the Numenera books, things like that. So if you've ever seen any of the, you could look up the the golden obelisk, and if you want to see a picture of it. So
so we can see that?
You can see it off in the distance.
That might be the power source.
And then I'm gonna build the biggest ladder in the world. And then I'm gonna get up there, and then I'm gonna like put a rope around. I'm gonna like climb up to the top of it, and then I'm gonna dance.
Yeah, that'd be really hard to do with no points to anchor your webs to get up there.
Yeah, that's why you need a really big ladder. What?
Yeah.
Wait, web?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's how you anchor things, like, and then you can, like, cross up and down, and everything becomes easy, versus this one, like, it's a very poor use of space. With
I'm gonna shove writing instruments at you, like, please doodle this for me immediately. I need to see this. This sounds like an architectural technique I'm not familiar with, and, like, the way he's describing space, like, isn't making sense to me, so please draw it so I get it.
Yes.
I actually feel like Naxos should be a halfway decent artist, actually.
Oh, totally.
It's possible. There's some interdisciplinary.
But does Naxos study perspective? That seems like exactly the thing Naxos doesn't do.
I would say that is one thing he is lacking.
Well, some of your previous plans for maybe how to go visit the Golden Obelisk was that there are Navarrene knights that ride skimmers, which are things that fly like birds.
Yeah, but I can't steal those.
Yeah, I mean, so put a pin in that.
Yep.
I take the paper and the pen and I just start, like, drawing. And I'm, like, focusing on it and not even paying attention to you guys. And I'm just, like, drawing the webs and stuff. And I'm doing it almost to relax because I'm just having a really tough day.
Make sure you include
I got the name wrong. It's the Amber Monolith, not the Golden Obelisk.
Make sure you include the stems in there, because winding stems is an important and very noble tradition.
I don't even acknowledge you.
So it's got to come back to you.
But food. Sorry, yes, we'll tell you all about how the web construction. You might become very well known here if you could implement superior webbed architecture. But in the meantime,
It sounded like you said darkitecture.
I mean, it is now. Yeah,
That's
I did
the kind
not
that
say that.
D'Artagnan studies.
Yeah. Yes. So is where we might like rest our feet for a moment and get a. What do we eat? No, we had there was some plant goo we ate or something, right? What we actually would consume. It was like a.
Yeah, you had your own foods. There were crops that were grown in the light of the core up there on instead of fields, you'd have these sort of structures of webs that had things growing off of them.
I would like to mention some fruit that absolutely does not exist in the surface world. But I'm all like cling fruit that grew from the webs, like closest to the light. Like, I mean, they had to get just the right amount of violet, and it was just melt in your mouth. I would give my left hand for some cling fruit right now.
Maybe that's like a regional thing. We don't really have it around here.
You do know that there's an ale house.
Yeah, I
Okay.
As Nico's drawing, Fallon sort of comes up alongside her. I know sometimes when people travel, they want to go out, but some people just get tired, and that's cool too. So I don't know if you guys want to go someplace with lots of people like the ale house, or you can come back to where you're staying with me.
I think Naxos actually relaxes with more people than with less.
I got that vibe, but you seemed like maybe you weren't that right now. So I wanted to check with you too.
I wouldn't mind people.
Okay. I like your drawing.
Thanks. Just gonna keep drawing.
Okay. I'm gonna bring them to the ale house.
All right. So you know the owner of the ale house.
I know everybody,
you're right.
Everybody knows me, and some of them even tolerate me.
I was gonna say on the way to the ale house, I want to pull Naxos to the side and say, I don't think Fallon knows that they're reborn. Maybe we shouldn't mention it.
Have you noticed there's no Ariadne here? It's weird. It's like everyone's reborn.
I know, but they don't know.
They don't know. And some of them don't fit the descriptions I've heard. I mean, I know that we haven't seen every incarnation, but some of these, like that that Gerner person. That was weird.
Maybe we should just listen.
Well, we don't want to freak them out with too much truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should listen to Fallon's stories and make up some that are like theirs.
Oh, to make it like this, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
They seem like a smart kid, though.
Like when they talked about the steadfast. We should listen to some other regions and pretend we're from one of
And
them.
we too come from a place with stick roofs, and it's always yellow. And yesterday.
And orange.
Yeah, and orange. Also orange, yellow, and
My
orange.
favorite time of the day is the orange.
I mentioned the cling fruit. They didn't know what I was talking about.
Yeah. I'm just gonna keep drawing them.
Okay, all right, we're good.
So when you arrive at this place, it's kind of like a pub of sorts, but it's also it's got a sort of outdoor garden area with tables and stuff where people are eating. And then you notice that they're one very interesting thing is they have these sort of tankards, which they look like you've heard people describe them as looking like they're made from concentrated starlight. Yes, and it's one of the kind of trademarks of this ale house is that they have these very unusual containers, but you can't leave with them. If you try to take one of them home with you, it just disappears.
It's like a Moscow Mule cup.
Yeah.
Are we still within our first hour of having gotten here, or is more than an hour past?
At this point, I think it's
Either way, when we walk in, I'm not above it.
Recast.
No,
You are not above anything.
I'm beneath you, but nothing is beneath me. When I walk in, I do very much walk in and just like stand there, so then like give everybody a second to see me, and I'm like, thank you for bringing us here, Fallon.
Yes, Fallon, thank you.
You see Kaoru, the proprietor, and she is working at the bar, and there are also 3 people seated at a table who you recognize. They refer to themselves as the Trilling Scholars, and they often meet here. There are three of them. One of them is a man dressed all in red, and you can see he's carrying, he's got something in his hand, like a small sort of device, and he whispers to it periodically, and a small flame pops up from it. So it's kind of like he's like lighting and extinguishing like a Zippo, yeah, an arcane Zippo of some sort. You know that his name is Caleriel. Calleriel.
I would like to activate Powerful Rhetoric.
Okay.
And I just put my hand on Fallon's shoulder and I say, thank you. You've been a very good friend to us. And I want to promote them as friends, so you gain an asset on your social interactions.
Dope on a rope! That actually feeds into me this time instead of working against me, because I have social skills. But I'm gonna go up to the Trilling Scholars. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna very, very bow to each one of them, and then I'm gonna just skip right up to Karu and engage in far too long a handshake.
Okay.
I don't know that Kara really knows all of it, but it turns out, like, really what Fallon needs is for you just to kind of keep your hands there and wave them around. Yeah. And they are doing the elaborate thing all around.
Oh, yeah. Well, Kara likes it. She's always taking a shine to you. And she goes,
Kara's cool and a person of taste and distinction.
The other two folks who are, of the Trilling Scholars who are there now are, there's an elderly man named Jared. Jerod.
Oh, I love Jared.
She went to Jared's.
Yeah. Some people, that people mistrust Jared because he claims to actually be much younger than he is, but he supposedly has been the victim of his own experiments, which have aged him before his time. At least that's his story, but some people don't believe it.
Yeah, I think it's progeria.
It's catching.
All right, and then there's another person. His name's I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right. Zhaon, Zhaon. He he's not from Elomir, but he has been here for a few years now. Before you and your family arrived, Fallon. But he seems to be almost kind of overcompensating always for the fact that he's not from here. That he is just the biggest Elomir. He has so much pride in Elomir as a place and its potential.
His head's a little too big. We're like,
You may hear him described as a super townie.
Yeah.
From someone who's also very obviously extremely a townie.
Yeah, and you know that him and Dora, your patron, don't get along very well. They argue all the time.
That's why they need me to be like the connective tissue, just bringing people together like a synth mesh.
That's right.
Totally.
That's what I'm here for.
Like synth on synth.
Giggity?
So yeah, Kaoru brings out some portions of stew and bread, and Fallon, you're a little disappointed when she brings out some of these starlight tankards, and they clearly have water in them and not ale. So.
Yeah, that perpetually happens when, you're 12.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
But I honestly think it's cool that we have excellent water filtration systems up and going, so water is an option for any minor child.
That's the thing, is that the water filtration systems are relatively new and sparse. So
Yes, but we have them now. I
This is
think
true.
we need to focus on the kind of progress that Elomir has as part of the tourism and regional greeting.
yeah, Kaoru was like,
Extra
yeah.
textual voice.
so Nico's only recently started to pay attention.
Okay.
She was just basically drawing and then crumpling up and then drawing and then crumpling up and then finally it's just you know what? It's fine.
All right.
And now she's eating.
So since our players are taking a little bit of a break right now, let's take a 10-minute break ourselves,
All right.
and we'll be back. We'll be back to hang out and find out more about this new village of Elomir.
10-minute break, 10-minute break, 10-minute break.
10-minute break. Welcome back. Welcome us back. We were on break, and now we're not. So when we last left, our group was assembled in the ale house in the village of Elamir, Kauru's ale house. They were having some food and water with the Trilling scholars, or some of the Trilling scholars at least.
The Trilling scholars.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very thrilling adventure, though.
So yeah, it's probably early afternoon at this point. You've been hanging out and trading tales.
It's still...
Wait.
We would never trade tales.
So, thank you. But in Ringweb, there was a Shield of Tomorrow, and now everything's built around trilling? Are you serious, dude?
In reincarnation, no less.
We see him though, right?
It's true.
Yeah.
No, it's it. Yeah.
I want to give you what you want. I want to honor your legacy.
It's true. I'm in this picture, and I'm okay with it. Yeah.
Huh.
Right. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Your legacy of Kairos is what I meant.
This
Sorry
is
for
why
my
you're running the game.
Gameception.
Gameception.
Just while the stew's there, which I'm like, this is. I mean, we had meat in today, right? I realize this is a different dish, but I'm trying to like, how foreign a dish is this?
I mean, I think
Everything would have been plant-based, right?
well, mostly plant-based, but the meat that you did eat was insect-based.
So we've never had meat like this big. I'm
Yeah.
gonna just go ahead and say that although her tummy might hurt later, Nico is digging this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I noticed that like Nico
Everything's bigger here.
is actually kind of enjoying this, and I'm seeing like a glint of her old self. I just I lean in and I'm like, Nico, I need your help.
Okay.
I don't quite know what to do, and I need your help making sure that everything's gonna be fine when your brother wakes up, that everything's gonna be fine for the town. We gotta stay on mission. We can't get distracted. You know?
Okay.
Yes. So what do you think we should do next?
We should definitely identify what the triller does.
With the trilling thing. Okay, right. Because I thought that was the power source, but that thing is glowing in the sky. That's got to be the power source.
I've been looking at the ball.
Right.
And I have thoughts.
The like fireball.
Yeah.
Right.
So maybe because we have our beam, right?
Right.
But the ball moves.
Right. Well, no. I mean, the ball's got to be standing still. We're moving.
No, the ball moves.
Well, you're right, because it like yesterday showed up where we were, and we kept walking, and then it was tomorrow again.
So I wonder if the ball is like their beam,
The ball's the beam.
but it must roll over something.
Well, I mean, that makes sense. I thought it was just the roof of this web the ring was so high we couldn't see it, but that's the roof, and we just can't see because that light's so bright. We can't make it out as it's rolling along the top. Oh, okay, right. No, but that's a long yellow, man. That is a long yellow. But, okay, all right, okay. So, here's a plan. Here's the plan. Let's find out if there even is room for our people to come here. Like, because maybe the people that come here visiting aren't happy. Like, Fallon seems happy.
We should talk to Fallon. Fallon talked about moving.
Right.
How do you figure out if you can move? Do you
Yes.
have to get permission?
Well, we'll
Who gives
find
you
it
the
out.
houses?
Right. But we've got to get everyone from today before yesterday catches up to them. Because remember, yesterday was coming for us. Remember?
Yeah, but they moved, right?
I mean, they're waiting for us so they can move.
No, I mean the village will continue to move in your absence, but
Right.
the idea was that cycle that would continue there was eventually that the hunger would be able to overcome it.
Well, the hunger showed up in the town.
Yeah.
So we don't know if that's going to happen again, like, whenever. So we need to get
okay.
everybody out of there. Oh, no. What if it's going to be a full cycle before they can even leave?
Well, it is, right?
We're stuck out here in this giant ring for a...
No, that guy in that ship, he controlled everything.
Yeah. Where even is that ship? What...
I don't know.
All right. Okay. All right. One thing to find out how to move. That's the next thing. You
Okay.
want to talk to the Trilling Scholars? Or do we want to talk to Fallon?
You can talk to Trilling Scholars. I'll talk to Fallon.
Okay. I arrange my hand.
Let's cut to this conversation first, and then we'll get to you with the Trilling Scholars.
I do make my way over towards them. I'm like, Nico, thank you.
Yes. Missions.
I figured it out. They're definitely rival scholars. Like, this whole, like, tomorrow yellow, yesterday catching up, like, it's all deep metaphorical language, because, like, that's the kind of stuff that I don't understand when the Trilling Scholars say it. So clearly, they must just, like, have some rival religious mystery thing.
Yeah, neither of them is right, and they're trying to force their own.
Oh, we're right.
Perception of the truth.
It's gotta be something like that. So I think they're probably harmless, but I should probably follow them around.
Yeah,
Just to be sure.
Just to be safe.
I
Keep
mean,
Elamir safe.
Elamir needs to be protected, and I am the regional greeter.
That you are. That you are. So yeah, what did you do?
This alehouse food is great.
Yeah, Carrie's real good.
Did you have an alehouse where you were from before?
Yeah, I mean, I was from kind of a bigger town, so there were a lot of alehouses, but my family couldn't get a lot of work there, so we didn't go to them a lot.
Oh, okay.
Would you want to say that your family was from Othmar, which is the mushroom?
Yeah, I'm from Shroomtown.
Oh, sorry, that's Bardov.
Yeah, I thought that was better.
Yep, sorry, I missed. Let me describe Othmar to you really quickly.
Yeah, tell me where I'm from.
Straight out of Compton. Crazy motherfucker named Fallon.
Straight out of Othmar.
Straight out of Ringweb. Straight out of today.
It's true. Yeah. So we ain't gonna eat up yesterday, fool. We going to tomorrow.
Okay, I'm gonna have to get that for you later.
Yeah, so where are you guys
You're
from?
from a place that is not here.
Oh, real far away. But I have questions about you and your move. It's so fascinating. How did you, did you have to get permission to move here? How do you find places to live in this, an Elamir? Is there a home assigner?
I mean, my parents know that kind of stuff.
Oh,
I
right, of
guess.
course. Right.
I guess, I think people just move here.
And just
Live? Do they not do that where you're from?
people move. No, not really.
Are
you don't
from
really
like
leave.
a potato ship?
I don't know what that means.
A tater ship is real bad.
Wow, that's amazing. People don't really leave our town often. Naxos and Lethe and I are kind of the only ones who've ever done it. So I just think it's really cool and must have been really scary for you to move, and I'm just wondering, maybe some people from our town would want to move here, and
No, yeah, we should get you guys out. That sounds
we're out.
terrible.
We're already out, but we just want to get more people out.
No, absolutely.
If we wanted like a town of people to move here.
I mean, it sounds like it's the right thing to do. It sounds like where you're from, they don't, no one ever leaves.
Right.
So, that sounds really oppressive.
Sounds like a tater ship.
It sounds like a tater ship.
It totally sounds like a tater ship.
The dictatorship.
I'm a freaking Rugrats kid.
You're not a Rugrats character.
I mean, same to love.
I mean, Tommy Pickles was the Doctor, so it's on brand.
Wait, what?
You never heard that? That all of Rugrats is a Doctor Who illusion, and Tommy Pickles is the Doctor?
We'll get back
We
to
will.
that.
We'll get back to that. At risk of being more interesting than my own game.
Right, Google it later. Not now. We're doing this now, but
Doing
Google
this
it
now.
later. That
Google
Tommy
it
Pickles is the
later.
Doctor.
I'm doing it now in my head.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Brain Google,
Does
yeah.
that make Reptar K9?
Yes.
Or the dog?
Spike's
The
K9.
dog, the Spike.
Spike-
Oh, Spike is
K9.
K9. That's
Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm so distracted now. BJ.
No, you're.
But
I'm
like,
glad you're safe now.
I think we were. Well, I don't guess not. No, I guess we always thought we were safe, but we never were. It's like you don't realize how bad something is because you get used to it. Because it's like all you ever know until you're not there anymore, and then like looking back, it's like that's like you've only moved once, right? You don't have to keep moving, right?
No. I mean, we're here, and like, Elamir is a really good place. I like it a lot. Like, it's good, and it isn't like wherever you're from.
So do you think like our whole town could just move here too?
I mean,
They're all good people. They're hard workers. And
like maybe over there.
Where are you pointing?
They are pointing out past a farmstead you see in the distance, which you know is the farmstead of Bruca One Hand.
Yeah. Maybe. I mean, there's like lots of room by Brucha.
Okay. We'll build a town there.
I mean, that sounds like it works to me.
We'll call it New Tomorrow.
Cool.
All right. At this point, the from the ale house itself, because you're in the sort of beer garden sort of area. After some time has passed, from that main area, you see you recognize it as Dora Redmeyer, burst out into.
Yeah, what up?
Yeah,
Ooh.
she's cool.
That's
Yeah.
Dora. She's cool.
Do you have a backpack?
Huh? No, she does not. You can see that she bursts through and she says, "Fallon,
Hey!
well, you weren't in the square."
No, because I'm doing the greeting right now. See, these are new people, and they're gonna bring a whole town of new people.
Right.
Isn't that great?
But what about your synth work? You're supposed to be doing your synth work.
I'm the regional greeter.
You're only the regional greeter until noon, and then you're supposed to come back and work on your
But
projects.
there is so much regional greeting to do.
You're never gonna make journeyman at this rate.
What's new?
I activate demeanor of command, and I'm like, you must be the Dora that we've heard so much about. Fallon, my friend here, has been invaluable in helping welcome us into your fair town, which I heard
Invaluable.
you yourself have made tremendous contributions to. I am
Tremendous.
Naxos Stemwinder. I am the Naxos Stemwinder. I recognize that might not have preceded me, but luckily for you,
Why
I'm
are you?
here
Why
now.
did you come here?
Because everyone's heard about
And I've heard there's another with you
Elamir.
who was injured.
My brother.
Yes.
The monsters
a
got him.
brave
Monsters?
The monsters.
They were like, and they like down. And they,
The things on their
You
heads.
should have came and found me immediately when you heard these people had been attacked by monsters. It's probably the Margir. I told you that the Margir are returning.
Are the Margir, do they look like this?
Like this
But like
is-
angry?
right, and like the
Yeah,
like,
they're furry and they have the aspect of a goat.
that's.
It's a type of animal.
But they were like animal people.
They
though.
don't have goats where you're from?
They're from really far away. They're from like a really sad, like oppressive place, and they need to stay with us. It's not
Today-
safe where they're from. This is an aside.
But where would the
No, we live in.
I want to
today.
hear. I want to hear more about these Margir that you ran into.
Well, it's paces. I mean, it was yesterday, but it was around
back
orange,
in
right? It was
yesterday.
back. No, it was in orange, and then yesterday happened, and then it was yellow again, and we were here. But they
It was
were
orange before it was yellow.
It was orange before.
How
it was
many
yellow.
of them were there?
I tell her I did overrun our guardian. Our guardian was forced to retreat, and our guardian does not retreat. So they must have known it was terrible, and they were about to be overrun. But we hid, and they went and they were ransacking stuff, which is why we didn't have any food. We were so hungry. But
That's why I brought them to the ale house rather
again,
because they were so hungry.
Invaluable. Invaluable. Yes. And so now
Infallible.
we are waiting till the next orange. Hopefully our friend is going to be all right. Staven said that to come back then, so we were just...
Staven?
Yes.
You left your brother with Staven? He uses...
What's wrong with that?
He uses the Numenera. His healing is not...
What's wrong with the Numenera?
It's unpredictable.
I don't recall if my hat makes noise on command or if it makes noise at random. Because it makes bird noises. I just don't remember if I made it do it or if it did it
It's
on its
at
own.
random.
I think
It
it's
wasn't random.
I think
It's
it's at
at
random.
random.
Okay, all right.
Which means right now.
This
Which
would be
means right
this
now.
would be a great
Yeah.
time for her bird noise from the hat. And I'm like...
She looks at your hat.
Numenera is
That is a
only,
very silly hat.
Numenera is only unpredictable to those who don't know how to command it. Like I'm not good
Which
at
is
commanding.
most people, and the sort of people who are interested in it do so without care.
Be careful. Real careful.
I would like to activate powerful rhetoric.
Yeah.
And I'm like...
You're
"Door."
activating a whole lot over there.
All I can do is
He's an
words. The
active
moment a
boy.
fight breaks out, I'm useless. Again, this is the friend, fool, or enemy thing again.
Okay.
I'm like, Dora, ma'am, perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot. Again, we have traveled a very long way. We've traveled all the way from today through yesterday back to today again. And now we are here waiting, hoping to get our friend.
You're from 3 days away? There are Margir within 3 days
Well, I
of
mean,
here?
we live in today. I mean, we always live in today. But I mean, we've been walking. We walked through one yesterday to get here. Like, I mean, oh, wait,
See,
hang
I
on.
think it's
wait,
a really
no.
religious community, and
No,
that's
we
why
went
they
there
have
two
this whole
yesterdays.
thing.
It was 2 yesterdays.
It was
No,
two
okay.
yesterdays.
So I understand you all measure time in an odd way, but your yellow ball, it was yellow and then black. And then yellow
Day,
and then black.
night.
And then this yellow is now.
Wait.
Today.
I mean, no, we're not in today. We're from
We're
today.
from today.
Yeah, no, but
Today's so far away.
it's very far.
But- But night is when the yellow ball is gone?
Yes. The sun.
they call yesterday night.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the sun.
Oh, that's the yellow ball. Okay,
It's the
right.
sun.
So this is the third time the yellow
You
ball
must
appeared.
come from a very
today.
strange place.
No, Dora,
I think their
stay
language
with me.
teacher or something was just not very good.
Today is the third time we saw the yellow ball since we saw the Margir.
Yes.
Well, we
Yes.
saw the Margir during the night, and then this has been the second yellow ball since that night.
Right. So
The council will have to listen to me now. They'll have to approve us building those walls.
no, let me talk to them. I can convince them. I'm sure. Yes, I would love to.
Building
Very
walls.
convincing.
To protect Elamir from the raids. In the past, Margir have raided this place and
You
razed
should
it
call
to the
them as
ground.
witnesses.
Though those creatures were quite insistent. Yes, they stole many of our supplies. And
Will
again,
they keep other people out too, or just the Margir?
Well, the Margir.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's fine then.
No,
because
yeah,
there's
you don't
others
get to
like
stay.
us. There's others like us in today that we would like to bring here to be able to live like safely and openly, like this.
I thought over by Burja.
It seems like a wonderful place.
And they can help build walls. They're all
And-
builders.
In stick thatches.
I think from the sound of how soon can they get here?
It took us 3 days to get here.
And how many people are we talking about?
I mean,
How
Number-wise.
many people are we talking
I mean, it was like 200, wasn't it?
2,000.
2,000.
It's like 200, but
Well, actually, no. It was between 2,000 and 4,000.
Well, not everyone will want to make the journey.
So
I'm
3,000
sure.
people.
But yeah, because some people are going to want to
How
live
are
it
there
today.
3,000 people 3 days from here and I don't know about it? The nearest biggest settlement is Offmar.
They're not 3 days from here. It just took us 3 days to get from here,
Right.
or
Maybe
to
they're
here
nomadic.
from today.
Because they live in today. Right. But I mean, but today's a very different place than this place. I mean,
What
again,
is nomadic?
See, that
mean?
sounds like nomadic.
Yeah.
Like you move around, you don't like.
We do.
stay
I
in
mean,
one
today
place.
do, we
moves
constantly
constantly.
move.
Yeah, right.
See,
That's true.
there, I figured it out.
Today's
They're
always
oppressed
moving.
nomads.
We have to.
Religious oppressed nomads.
We're not oppressed. I mean, today's
No,
a
you're free
wonderful
now.
place. It's just a little small.
Well, I mean, the hunger's not great.
Well,
And the fact that we have to constantly.
They don't have enough to
move-
eat?
I shove my stew at you.
No, not our hunger.
No,
The
no,
hunger.
the hunger.
The hunger that creates yesterday and kills everything in its wake.
Oh, it must be
Yes.
like a pestilence or something.
Well, it was it was ruins. Well, remember when we were in? I'm asking you out on the side. When we went to yesterday and we saw the ruins of Ariadne architecture, did that look anything? Or not Ariadne architecture, the ruins of our reborn architecture.
Yeah.
Did that look anything like the architecture here? 'Cause I felt like you were describing like modern high rises at the time, but
A little, yeah, some of it. It was definitely more contemporary, like sort of skyscraper looking. But a lot of the surfaces on the inside of the Ringweb itself were, I mean, in some ways, the Trilling Shard, that statue, seems kind of similar in style, as does the Golden Sliver, the amber monolith off in the distance.
Where we come from, we had things like your Trilling Shard and your glowing power supply in the sky. We had things like that, but the hunger turned them to dust. That's why we have to leave. The hunger ate all of yesterday, and we have to get our people out of today so they can come here.
I think I have heard descriptions of what you're talking about. Our people call it the Iron Wind.
It is like an iron wind. It blew and it consumed everything. Yes.
Well, it doesn't always consume. Sometimes it. Oh, geez, I'm forgetting on all this. The Aeon priests were telling me about it, and it transforms things. It's made up of microscopic particles that cause things to radically change form uncontrollably.
Side note, these Aeon priests, they seem very learned, very intelligent. Did they happen to tell you about us? About Naxos Stemwinder and Nikos? Like, we're legends.
Well, they wouldn't have talked about Nico. They would have talked.
They are very mysterious, and they won't answer every question that I pose to them.
Tell me
Because
about it.
I'm the first Nico. Before me, it wasn't Nico. It was Sierra Baldo.
You are the best Nico, though.
I'm the only Nico.
And therefore the best Nico. I just didn't know. I didn't know how far the word of our legend had reached, but that's fine. You're going to find out. Everyone will hear all about it. And there's others like, well, I mean, they're not just like us, but there are others who have lived many times and bring the wealth of many lives with us that will help communicate it with you and build your community into something great and lavish. We will reach to the edges of your tunnels and up into the sky to the yellow ball. It will be beautiful. We can show you how to do this. And I unballed the paper of that Nico was drawing on. And I'm like, look, this is what it's like where we're from. See, but I mean, Nico, that's, you should have let me draw the
I
picture.
crumpled it up and threw it away. Why do you have it?
Well, okay.
I wanted to save your papers.
We
It
live
seemed important.
all along the tunnel, right? And the strands go much further than Nico is showing them here. And we live all in here. And this is where today is. This is today, here.
Okay.
And we need to bring our people from today here to yellow. I don't know how many yellows it's going to take us to do it.
Elamir.
Elamir, yes. Yeah, it's yellow right now. Right. I mean,
No, that's
but-
the sun. Where we are now is Elamir. This village is
And Elamir is
It's-
in yellow.
Elamir's, well, I mean, until it's orange,
No.
orange.
Until
Wait till
it's
it's
orange.
tomorrow.
It's
right?
in Navarre.
Yesterday.
Yellow?
No,
In
I
the
mean like
steadfast.
right now
Right.
we're in yellow.
And yellow, but this is Elamir. Yes,
Daylight.
right.
Well,
It's daytime.
I know today. The daytime.
Well, I mean, I've heard that Nietan has a skimmer. Maybe she could take you to go back to find your people. It travels much faster than on.
I mean,
on
we
foot.
wouldn't want to trouble her. We could always take the skimmer and get it back to her.
You don't know Nietan if you think you can steal from her.
No, I'm not talking about stealing.
Borrow,
we should
whatever
just
you call
borrow
it.
it from her. Hey, you know that I'm good at it, and you know I'll be real. I'll do real well. And can I please make a persuasion check?
Yes.
You do have a.
Oh, I remember.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
All right.
What's
So
the difficulty here?
it's probably quite low. It's probably, let's say, let's say it's a 2.
I automatically pass.
Okay. So
between that and my training and pleasant social interactions.
Okay. So yeah, she's like, all
So I
right.
should definitely help persuade that we should ride the skimmer.
All right. Well, yeah. I mean, I haven't seen her use it for months. But yeah, you could head out to her place and see if she'll let you use it. And I mean, tell her that Dora asked.
We could bring your dad back. Maybe he can help your brother.
Well, I mean, hopefully Steven can help him, right?
Steven didn't seem convinced. I think we need somebody with a
You
little
told me
more.
it's gonna be fine.
It is going to be fine, but it will be.
He's not gonna be fine. Why
but
are we keep taking
it'll
him
be
here?
more fine if we bring some experts from today.
But Dad wasn't allowed to leave, remember? When he got tested, they said he wasn't allowed to leave.
Not everyone can leave. You're right. Still, someone's gonna be able to help.
Maybe somebody here can cure it.
Yes. What is a skimmer? Schemer?
Yeah, it's a vehicle. It looks like this, and I will just very quickly sketch out a schematic of a skimmer. It looks like I doodle a lot of mechs and things. And in fact, as I'm flipping over the sort of files, you can see there are many
notebooks
mech doodles,
of mechs.
many buildings, and persistent 20 pages of something that looks like a robot dinosaur out of Horizon Zero Dawn.
I take this and the other one Nico did, and I unfold both of them, and I just sort of tuck them in your book. And I'm like, this can reach to the yellow ball. You can use so much unused space here. You all are flat versus up and around. See how the yellow ball rolls along the roof of the ring? You can build all the way up to that. In fact, you can go past the yellow ball, and then you draw the power from the yellow ball outward.
I think they're outside the ring. We're inside, and they're outside.
We're on the outside of the ring.
And that's why it looks different, and why the yellow ball's up there and goes like that is because they're outside the ring.
Well, but the yellow ball went that way and it came back from this way. It's still in a ring, but we're just in a big ring then. But we're on the outside of our ring. You're right. That's why.
Narrator.
That's why
He was not right.
That's why yellow's taking so long, because it's such a big ring. It all makes sense now. Yeah.
May I make a crafting roll?
Yeah. What do you want to make?
Hey, you
I want to make a
this.
commonplace object.
Okay. So what normal task is that? It's an intellect task? And
Yeah, it's a sort of crafting commonplace objects.
okay. Now, I think normally I wouldn't have you roll for that, but in this case I am going to be. You are very interested in this conversation, and you're also doing this at the same time, so it's
it's distracting.
Yeah.
Totally.
So it's going to be. I'll say it's a difficulty 3.
Okay.
But this is an intrusion, so you'll get 2 XP for it.
Cool. Perfect.
1 for you, and then 1 to give away.
Yes. All right. So I will.
I believe in you.
I'll expend 2 levels of effort on this. So I'll
Okay.
take 2 points out of my intellect pool to get it down to difficulty 1. And 4. Yay! Good thing I did those reductions. Yay! I want to make an astrolabe.
Okay.
Because they need
Yeah.
they need navigation tools.
Yeah. So as you're.
They need to get it.
You get it. All right, so yeah, you've made a simple astrolabe that shows things like the.
Is there a flaming eye inside? Hello, child. You see, I can find you anywhere.
Yeah.
Yes, we're crossing the streams.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's it's like webbier, but we in there. That's today. Right? And that's the beam. The beam would come straight through there, and we live, and I'm motioning along the strands. I'm we live on the strands. That's it.
Good, so you know how to use this. So now you won't get. Now you'll know where Elamir is, and you won't lose it.
Oh, okay.
I shall take this astral nap and look at it very confusedly.
How did they make a model of the web like that just from the picture? They're a very good artist.
Is this just a regular tool, or is this
and
like...
Dora's like, that's not art. That's a functional object.
I'm here to tell you, ma'am, that art can be both beautiful and functional.
You don't need to tell me that, young'un. I've been making beautiful furniture since before you were a gleam in your parents' eye.
I've gleamed many times. There's been many Naxoses. Naxai, we like to call them, although I'm the best Naxos. Another question. This scheme that. Are you capable of piloting this device, or is there someone else we need? Like, I need someone to help, us with things.
Well, I mean, I was hoping that Neatin would go with you.
Yeah.
It's her skimmer.
It's fine.
See, I'll tell you a secret. If you let other people drive their stuff and it gets horribly destroyed, it's not your fault.
It wouldn't probably get destroyed.
Okay, so we're gonna go back to today before yesterday arrives, because yesterday showed up twice now, and that was weird. So I think, are we gonna try and wait out? Because we gotta wait till orange, and if the other 2 days are any indicator, right after orange, yesterday will be here.
This doesn't make any sense anymore.
So after yesterday arrives, maybe orange, the next orange. I mean,
but who's on first?
but what's on second?
Yeah, every time we get too far into these days, like, Fallon just starts blazing
right.
a
I have
little
a
bit.
question about your yesterdays. What do you do when they come? How do you not get eaten?
Yeah, because it's like we were walking and yesterday still caught up to us. But then it became today again.
I mean, if you're talking about the Iron Wind, I've only heard stories about it.
No. When the yellow ball leaves you and it's dark everywhere.
And it's yesterday.
At night.
Yeah, and it's yesterday, right? Because it's dark everywhere. No, when the yellow ball leaves, right? You know, with the yellow ball, like it rolls along the top of the ring and it's gone.
When night comes,
no,
that's when I am most worried that the Marger will attack.
Well, you should be, because that's when it happened.
So the marger is like your hunger.
They have a goat. They have a goat. You called it a goat hunger.
Goat.
Right, goat hunger.
So how do you stay safe from the marger at night?
Walls.
I guess that would be one way. Yeah.
I actually start rearranging the letters in my hair to take notes of things like night and day.
Yeah.
I'm like, keep reminding myself what these words are. Yeah, okay. Like, night.
Yeah.
But you spell it like NYTE.
Oh, no, it's completely wrong. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely phonetically. Yeah, right, but I know what it meant.
Yeah.
Watching intently.
Yeah.
Not helping.
Right.
All right. So yeah, once you find out what's up with the skimmer,
I'll report back.
yeah, come back to the house and let me know. But
Okay.
yeah.
Hey, ma'am, our friend, if you don't think this Staven person can help, could you please do something? He's very important to us, and he was hurt defending us.
I mean, we'll talk tonight. But at this point, I have a lot.
Right.
I have a lot of people I need to go talk to. They weren't taking me seriously about this before, but this is.
Yeah,
I
but
would be
like
prepared to
also
speak with
talking should wait if someone's in trouble. You should help their friend.
But this is bigger than just one person, and
Yeah, but
the whole village is at risk.
But if you save one life tonight, no.
I've heard
You
what
should
you
do it.
said. I've heard what you said, and I'm sorry. This is I am your elder in this, and you should respect that.
Should make good choices.
We know a thing or two about being elders, and yes, we will return with help for you also. Because when we find our people from today that wish to leave and can leave, we will bring them here, and you will benefit from their many years of experience and craft skills.
Okay. All right. So she heads out. It's later afternoon now. It's still
circle's different now.
It's not where it was. That's why. No, it's rolling along the top of the ring. No, it's
and the light is a different color. You can see out.
Is it starting to get orange yet?
It's getting more orange. It's getting more orange.
It's almost orange.
We should go to Staven.
Well, let's see if we can figure out this skimmer. Yes, see if we can figure that out, because we might be able to load your brother onto it and go.
Okay.
Yes.
Well. Okay. Yeah.
So we'll figure out the skimmer.
Yeah.
Let's
All
go.
right, let's go.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Wait, Dora said talk to a person. I'm pretty good at talking. Who's the person that the skimmer belongs to that we can do the talking?
I will tell you a little bit about this person. Nieten is a woman in her probably early 30s or so, but she's respected as an elder in the community. She has a sword made of strong glass.
She's a sword lesbian.
She is well. I don't know if you know about her life, but she made. Yeah, she's a sword lesbian.
She likes to
Thank you. I'm a simple creature with simple needs and happy pride.
Yeah. She's a young warrior that has won everyone's respect over the past few years. Not merely because she wields a strong glass sword that can cut through stone or bone with equal ease, but also because she is one of the most successwell hunters in the community.
Glass.
So, yeah.
In the interest of time, I would like to, when we meet her, well, let me rephrase. Can I use my friendly NPC player intrusion to have the friendly NPC be her, or is it completely some other...
Yeah, I have to figure out how we're going to get those things to work, because a lot of them benefit from... They have some of these powers where, like, an old friend who shows up and does something...
This
one does say an NPC you don't know.
Oh, you don't know?
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
it's someone
I have
you
old
don't
friends.
know, or someone you don't know well, or someone you know but who hasn't been friendly. So it can be completely unrelated to me.
Okay.
Just somebody likes the cut of my jib, basically, and helps me.
It's quite a jib.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's the only jib I got.
Okay.
Tis quite a jib.
It's the only jib I got.
By the way, I had a GM intrusion earlier, just because we're talking about player intrusions, and those are XP fed. But I'm passing my XP, 1 XP along to Nico.
So they get an XP and you get an XP.
Everybody gets an
XP.
Because I was making it for her, because apparently her dad can't leave, and that's really sad.
All right, so yeah, let's say that just for some reason, yeah. So you approach.
I get that a lot.
You take them to Nieten's house, and you can see when you knock on the door, there's no answer, but you can hear what sounds like work going on in the back. If you were to go around.
Yeah, we should go around the back and she's very tough, so no one intimidates her. Catch flies with honey.
Did I show you the picture of your sword?
You did.
Yes.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
And that is good
Very
advice.
very cool art in all of these books.
So it'll
Incredible advice.
reduce the difficulty of
Okay.
your check
Well,
by a step if you use persuasion with her.
I mean, if you're saying that it will apply, I will outright use the friendly NPC mechanic. So
Okay.
when I see it's my player intrusion.
Here's what. Yeah. Well. Oh yeah. Okay. So, let's instead of you doing it as a player intrusion, because you have to spend XP for that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say this is normally because of that thing you would get it automatically, but I'm gonna do like I did with Sam earlier. It's gonna be a GM intrusion.
I like where this is headed.
So yeah. So you will have to roll.
Mm-hmm.
Let's. It's an intellect task. It's your sort of presence, and this is basically let's see how much swagger you have when you
Roll for swagger.
Is she?
roll
Do we
for
see
swagger.
her already?
Yeah. There's an alleyway between her house and the one next to it, which connects with a sort of yard that she has between them, and you are there's a low fence with a gate. And so you're in this alleyway between the two houses, and yeah, you can see her on the other side of it.
I
with
think
her-
she's really cool, and I start to stand like her and try to hold
Lethy's glaive, like she's holding her sword.
Well, she's not actually holding the sword this time, but
Oh, okay. But I just try to strike a cool pose. And
Yeah.
just be like,
she's there, and you also see that Rilgar Darkglow is with her, and he is a smith. And
of course he is.
And he has a metallic blue arm that that's his hammering arm, and it looks like he is actually helping Nietzsche make something. Like there's a small anvil. And you can see there's some sort of small Numenera cipher device, and it looks like they're trying to work on something.
Old Smith, young Smith, what's his deal?
You tell me.
I mean, look, I'm asking, is this my Gendry?
Okay.
That's Gendry, yeah.
Oh yeah. Let's say he's younger than Nietzsche. Let's say he's maybe about 19 or so.
Cool.
Maybe a little old for you, but
Yep, nope, which is exactly why words fail.
yeah.
Nietzsche, excuse me, mighty warrior. We were told that you were the only person who could possibly help us.
He's here.
Who are you?
I am Nexos Stemwinder, the Nexos Stemwinder.
And did you roll for your
Nico.
swagger?
Oh, I mean, I haven't yet. No, I was saying words before we see how the words land.
So yeah, difficulty 3.
Okay. Then
And then I have it. I have all the socials.
You got it. You got it.
Right.
yeah, that'll actually go.
You would have made it.
I'm like, I have all the socials.
And I got, yeah.
All right. So you get an XP.
Hey.
And who do you want to give your other XP to?
I will give it to Sam, the Circle of Life.
No.
Now we all has. We all has.
Thank you.
Oh, heavens.
and now Sam gets XP.
That's beautiful, but don't get us muted.
So you,
As I almost did to us earlier today.
so yeah, as she's asked you to identify yourself, but you can tell by her body language that she does a bit of a smirk.
Mm-hmm.
That she's kind of like, oh, all right, who's this flash fellow?
I'm standing with sword, a glaive, posing in the background, looking tough.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't care,
Yeah.
but I clearly care.
Yeah. Like, we have journeyed a great distance. We've come here from far away, and we're trying to get home. We're trying to get home, and we were told that you might be able to help us with your skimmer.
Skimmer.
I told Dora not to tell anybody about the skimmer.
And Dora is the one that said we should come and ask, and she said because they're.
But this is a trick from Dora. Dora wants me. She asked me yesterday.
Margier are coming. We
What?
barely made it through with our lives. Our friend was injured. You can see his wounds with your own eyes, and we're trying to get back to rescue our friends and family and get them here.
Okay. All right.
And only you can help us. You are our only hope.
I mean, I thought this was some sort of trick because Dora was asking me to use the skimmer to do reconnaissance for
No,
the
it's
for the
really
Marger.
real, I promise.
Okay, well, the skimmer's not working.
What's gone wrong?
I don't know. Ruger's been trying to help me fix some of the parts on it, but we're at a bit of a loss, actually.
Maybe you should try to help. You're really good with the fixie things.
If I be as good as I can look.
What's the problem? I mean, you've been so chatty this entire day. Don't hesitate now. You can get in there and help the
You can
boy.
see
Clearly he's struggling.
Rhaegar is like, it's Fallon, right? Dora tells me that you're a skilled craftsperson.
I'm working on it. I have some stuff. Schematic.
All right. All right. He seems intrigued, but he's like, yeah. So I think I've got the power cell misaligned somehow, and I think this is supposed to be a converter for the. And he starts rambling off on some of these Numenera and cipher terms, which you probably know a fair amount of.
Yeah, a
Right.
little bit. I know a
I
little bit.
know nothing.
Are you trained in this task?
I am not, probably, depending on what the task ultimately is.
Now, I saw on your character sheet
Yeah.
you're a right, but Don't you have an inability related to?
To understanding Numenera, yeah.
Yeah. So you're very good at building new things, but sometimes.
Yeah, I tinker with things. I don't.
Yeah.
Machines have a way of talking. This is a Kaylee sitch.
Okay.
I
Gotcha.
would like to activate my anecdote to help give. They will be trained in this task, and also so will Nico if you listen to me.
I'm not good with this.
You will be once I'm done with my story.
When you're done with your story, I will be fair to middling at it. I will not be good.
I will tell them the story about a previous version of Naxos who had turned his back on performance. He decided that machine artwork was his stock and trade. And he understood that to work with a machine, you just have to listen to it and hear it. And then I continue talking until they become trained in the task at hand.
You find a confidence you didn't know you had.
Mm-hmm. I believe in you. And I believe in you, Nico. Nico, it's part of the mission.
Okay.
It's part of the mission.
Okay. I will try.
Transport is vital to the mission.
Okay.
Maybe I can just protect you guys while you're trying.
Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that in just a moment. I'm going to say that this is a 4. This is bigger than anything you've ever. Do you have anything that would adjust that one way or the other?
So, do we want to say that brings me up to flat, or that I am trained in the task?
I think it would bring you up to flat.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the interests of all that. No, nothing directly, because what we're working with is something I have an inability in, but because we're tier 2, I can spend 2 levels of effort to bring it down to level 2, and that's as much as I can do.
I'm like, does 11 hard help?
And also, like, if you fail, it may just be that it takes longer, or, they have to keep at it.
Or it's going to
Roll 6 or
explode
higher.
as soon as we're driving.
14!
All right.
I do it, and I'm an impressive 12-year-old.
So it's about 2 hours of work with.
You Jurassic Parked that computer.
Yep. You and Rugar are work on it.
White rabbit object.
Yep.
Really proud of me.
Rugar has a small. It looks basically like a frisbee. It's like this metal disc, and he tosses it down on the ground next to the skimmer, but between you and the skimmer, and you recognize what it is. It's his basically. Like when people get under cars, like it's one of those, but it's like a little hover one, like a little magnetic one.
Magnets, how do they work?
They work.
Magic and miracles.
So yeah.
Miracles, man.
So you're under there with your tools, and there's this sort of flashing light of arcane welding going on.
Absolutely.
And you're passing him things, and he's passing you down
Hyperspanner.
tools. Hyper spanner, check. Meanwhile, Nieten comes over to you, and she says, "What are you doing with this wonderful weapon?"
It's a glaive.
All right, well, show me your moves. Show me your forms.
Okay. I do some forms. I basically am trying to do like poses, because there's like for Seeker's Bola, it's not part of the game at all, but you do like almost like a Tai Chi style thing during warm up with the with the glaives, because it's like an opening ceremonies thing.
Oh yeah, it's a religious thing as well as a sport for those folks.
Because during the like voice of God aspect of it, you like it's very formal, like you're preparing for war, but then you just play with the ball. But yeah, so I'm trying to do those like opening moves.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of like real slow, like, and this is not my glaive. This is for sure my brother's glaive.
This is your brother's glaive.
And so, but I am really working hard to look impressive.
Okay. She at a few points,
I'm focused.
Yeah. She helps correct your elbow a little bit here or there, or as you do something, she goes, "Do that again, but do this." And so yeah, you kind of have a sort of moment where
Yes.
And she's, "You're so young. How long have you been fighting?"
Many lives.
What?
Well, I think I've always been fighting. I mean, this is the first time I've been Nico, but I think I've always been a fighter.
The best, Nico.
All right, so yeah, she seems very interested in you particularly, and your brother, and you can see that she's someone who's just very passionate and proud of being a warrior and a hunter, and so she naturally gravitates to other people who she feels like she shares that with.
I get that.
And are going to get it. So yeah, after a few hours of work, you finally finish, and then there's that moment where Rugar's like, oh, okay, so fire it up.
My face is now 80% engine oil. There does not appear to be anything that could have produced engine oil.
Said oil.
And yet.
It's vegan engine oil.
Yeah.
Oh, I think you got some iotum on your face, and Rugar wipes a little bit of it away. But go ahead. Fire her up.
You got
Fallon
iodum on your face.
a little bit like they didn't faint, so they turned it
Yeah.
Boop.
All right. So at that moment, light arcs throughout the console on the skimmer. For out of character, it looks kind of like a steel manta ray. And it's about 20 feet across, wingspan-wise. And it doesn't so much have like a sort of cockpit, as it's almost like just sort of things that your feet fit into.
So you stand on it.
Yeah. So people stand on it. It's kind of like, it's a lot like the Nausica's ship from Nausica of the Valley of the Wind, if you've ever seen that. It's an old Miyazaki movie.
That's what we need, is this to turn into Nazca Valley of the Wind, more into Nazca Valley of the Wind.
I mean, that is one of the big inspirations for Numenera in general, was that, and so that's why I'm all over it. But yeah, it lights up, and and there's a sort of, as it stabilizes itself, and you can see that the barn that it was partway under, and it still had like a tarp on it and stuff, that just blows off.
Good girl. Fallon, you did it!
You did, and just right on the time. I think it's going to be orange soon, because it took hours to do, right?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. And Neaton comes up and she looks at you and kind of nods approvingly, and she says, "I owe you one, Fallon."
Well, we were hoping that you'd be able to come with us. I don't think we need supervision, but
People will need your help. Her brother.
I know how Dora is, and yeah, you can go. You can come with, and of course I'll come.
Yes. Her brother was injured defending us. We need a warrior of your caliber.
I'm very interested to meet Prolethea. But so I'm gonna actually do a couple laps of the village just to make sure everything's safe on this. But come and meet me by the glitter mist arch.
yeah, we'll get them to go check on Prolethea, because Steven said that we should come back around this time, and then we'll meet you.
Are we leaving, and I look at my hair, tonight? Or are we leaving tomorrow?
I think we should leave right away. If there's a horde of Margir out there, the more we know, the better.
But we can check on Prolethea first.
Yes, we have to go
we're
back
doing
in
that
orange.
while she's doing laps.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna go right now,
Okay.
and he's gonna be great, and everything's gonna be great,
Everything's
and you're gonna live in my town now, and we'll be friends and everything.
And I'm gonna tell him what a great job you did on the mission.
Okay.
Couldn't have done it without you.
Okay.
Bumps.
All right, so that is actually where we're going to leave it for today.
Wait, no, we live in today. I don't know how many times we have to explain this.
Like, on one level, I think that's part of what I like about this whole science fiction cultures meeting each other. But it's a blessing and a curse.
You're telling
Stick
me.
and Stick shall never die.
Yeah.
Come back to today next week.
Yeah. So we'll see you next week, where the Children of Ringweb continues, And we'll see. Well, maybe we'll have a D'Artagnan for that.
Can I get philosophical for a second?
Yes, you can.
This game can only ever exist in today because we're recording it today, and if you're watching it, whenever you're watching it, it is today, so it can only ever be today while you're watching this.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. You said it's a terrible place. We have to keep moving so we can stay in today.
But tomorrow and tomorrow.
And tomorrow.
But if you're watching this,
But it just creeps in.
but if you're watching this,
poor
Sam,
player.
it's
No, but if
today.
you're watching, you look up and all of a sudden it's tomorrow.
Yeah,
It is
that is true.
always today.
And with that, good night.
Yeah. So thank you to everybody who's watched, and thank you to QueueTimes for hosting us as always, and thank you to all of you for your wonderful play.
And thank you.
Thank you, Eloquent, for the wonderful world you have built for us to play in.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I had a lot of help. In this case, it's the help of people like Bruce Cordell, Sean K. Reynolds, and the other fine folks at Monty Cook Games.
Montacook.
Mon cook.
Montacook.
Mon
They know what's cooking.
Wait,